Oh, God. I didn't trip. You tripped. Shut up. We're back, and so was the green screen, and I took the bracelets off, so hopefully there won't be little click-clack noises in this one. I hope I fixed the mic thing this time. I'm not sure. We're going to figure it out together. So, two things. Number one, I'm never going to make the ECW video. I've realized that I recorded not this. I recorded the last thing and the ECW thing on a very high resolution, and my PC is a dinosaur and apparently can't handle it. So, am I going to make it? Yes, but there's two things. It's going to take forever to edit because it makes my PC act up, and it's also just a really long video. So, I have to make videos in between to get that ECW video out that I'm probably never going to make. I'm probably going to make it eventually. Hold me to it. Somehow hold me to it. But I guess it's a good thing I did that because this format was a lot of fun to edit. It was painful watching my Premiere Pro lag while editing this, but I like the green screen. Not a lot though. I like it enough that it's like it's there and I can use it, but it didn't feel too necessary. But also I felt like I should at least put something there like this. Also, it could just be my lighting that messes it up sometimes because I saw the things clipping into my hoodie, which was weird because I didn't wear a green hoodie. But it's fair because I don't know how green screens work. So you know what? Let's just get into the meat and potatoes of the video instead of talking about things that, let's be honest, you didn't click on this video for. Money in the Bank has officially passed us, and I'm not gonna lie, didn't like it. But I'm not like mad about it. I didn't hate Money in the Bank 2024. The problem is it kind of fit in with all the other B pay-per-views that have been going on so far. And I'll be honest with you, haven't really been liking the pay-per-views out of WWE. The builds for them, the moments leading up to the pay-per-views, phenomenal. And the first time I really felt this was last pay-per-view, which was what? Clash of the Castle, Clash at the Castle, Clash in the Castle, Clash at the Castle. Well, the match builds were there, but once I got there, I kind of just found myself bored, not really interested in it. Not that the match qualities were bad. I was just like, and I am definitely one of those people that praise Triple H over long-term booking. I mean, I love the idea of, hey man, you gotta be there week to week to see what happens to get the big payoff. The problem is, and I don't know if it's really a problem, but it kind of feels like a problem. It feels like you're sacrificing every pay-per-view that isn't WrestleMania, SummerSlam. I would have thought Money in the Bank or the Royal Rumble, but the problem is the Royal Rumble isn't going to get anything crazy either. They're just going to get, the Rumble winners. So doing a quick flash review on this, we have the men's Money in the Bank match starting the show. Pretty cool. My problem is there was only one real winner. And I think that I want to talk about this cash-in, but I have to wait because I have a lot to say about it. I actually might make, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. Drew McIntyre won the Money in the Bank. Hated this idea because I knew this was where it was going because the other five guys were just dudes. The problem is Jey Uso. I don't like Jey Uso. I genuinely think ever since they've changed him to this, whatever this is, I hate this. You remember before SummerSlam last year when he cut that promo on Roman where he's like, I'm coming to take this title off you. I'm done with you. I'm beating the hell out of you in tribal combat. That Jey Uso, I don't know what happened to him, but this is not it. Genuinely hate this. He should have won the Money in the Bank because now I'm in a situation where I do not care about Jey Uso to ever win a singles title. He could never win a singles title for the rest of his career, which could be another 20 years. I do not care. And I think that's definitely a me problem. I don't like the yeet guy. But the thing is, I also kind of don't like the yeah guy either. But at least he has a program to do something. Bro is called Main Event Jey Uso, and he's not even main eventing Raw anymore. Bro is just around and saying yeet and getting beat up and losing. I don't like Jey Uso, but he probably should have won this because they clearly like him enough to want him to be something. My problem is if Jey Uso is the type of guy that gets the crowds going, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to get online and say Jey Uso isn't over because I'd be fucking wrong. Did he have a shit match at WrestleMania? Yes. Has he had shit matches since? Also, yes. But the problem with Jey Uso is that he's clearly selling merch, he's clearly over, and you either put the world title on him eventually, which doesn't fit the main title picture right now, so understandable, or you make it so he's clearly an option. He's not winning anything, he's not doing anything. the Money in the Bank is a hard concept to write for because if you have 8 other stories that you prefer, you have to always keep in the back of your mind that the Money in the Bank is somewhere out there. Completely understandable that you don't give it to any of the other 5 guys and give it to your main star who is in a world title picture so that way you can progress that story. Even though it didn't progress the world title story, it kind of progressed a different story. Unrelated. My problem is Money in the Bank is always supposed to be a concept to build a future star. And maybe it is the year thing. Maybe them only having a year makes it a lot harder, so they can't really just, hey, give it to Jey Uso and make him sit on his hands for the next 364 days. Completely understandable, but also don't put him in this match. Don't make him proclaim he's going to be Monyeet in the Bank. Stop putting him on my screen to lose because I already don't want to see him do anything. I think it's because if you were going to put out somebody that isn't a contender that could be a contender in the future, fine. But you only gave one option, which okay, I don't like saying things are too predictable because wrestling, you're telling a story, and if you're telling the story correctly, things should be technically predictable. You shouldn't have some stupid swerve where like Andrade wins it or something. It wouldn't make any sense, right? But if it's too predictable, you're not going to get me invested. I can't enjoy Carmelo and Andrade doing all the cool spots because I know neither of them are going to win it. There's just nothing here for me to sink my teeth into because I know the only dude who's in the World Heavyweight title picture who respectfully, you know what, I'm taking these off. Respectfully, you could put Drew McIntyre in at any point, no Money in the Bank, and nobody's going to question it. My problem here is that immediately after, not the match after, but eventually it went on to Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest. And I wanted this match to be better. Damian Priest had a slip up. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It happened. Triple H talked about it in the press conference. It happens. But at the end of the day, I like Damian Priest as World Heavyweight Champion. I really do. I genuinely have enjoyed this run. The problem is he has yet to have a match or a win or anything that makes you think Damian Priest should have this world title. Have those matches been good in ring? Yes. Have the promos been a little okay, not the craziest? Also, yes. The problem is he hasn't had that win that was about Damian winning. When he fought against Drew, it was about Drew and Punk because Punk came out. Before that was Jey Uso, who, again, he may be called main event Jey Uso. He might be getting the big pops. The problem is he doesn't win anything. So when he fought Jey Uso, my very first thought was that old Kenny Omega video because all Jey Uso does is lose, 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 lose. He's a fucking loser. I don't care. So I really wanted this to be Damian Priest big. He beat the guy. Seth Rollins will always be the guy. He's the one they put the title on to establish it as a world title. And it pretty much worked. And that is cool. I understand the CM Punk angle has now been cranked up to an 11 because he screwed Drew again. I understand you added a new wrinkle by adding Seth Rollins to this because now Seth can't challenge for the world title. What is he going to do? Well, he's probably going to go after the guy that screwed him out of, being able to fight for the world title. And also Drew, because Drew has been really annoying to Seth in general. So also Seth has another reason to hate Drew more. And now he's going to have to, put himself in the Punk Drew thing. Cool. That's an awesome new wrinkle. My problem is Jey Uso now does nothing. Damian Priest didn't get his big win because not only was there a really big botch that happened, but also he had a triple threat where one of the dudes was beaten to a pulp, so he didn't really win the match. He just survived Seth Rollins. And 3, I kind of forgot my third point. Listen, this so far, the World Heavyweight title picture, I can make a whole video on it. I love where it is. I love where it's going. But now Damian truly does feel like a placeholder champion because he's going to fight Gunther at SummerSlam. And respectfully, there is no way that he's beating Gunther unless he shoots that guy. And if he does beat him clean, I'm not going to believe it. The crowd isn't going to believe it. And I'm just going to be pissed that I'm going to miss out on my Gunther World Heavyweight Champion. So I don't fully hate this. There's pros and cons to it. Pro being the Money in the Bank finally gets used for a story reason and not just a cheap pop. But the con is now you have 3 main event guys. One can't even go for the world title. The other 2 are too busy being in a love feud where they can't get over each other. So technically your world championship seed is whoever's holding your title and everybody that they're going to beat because your most popular guy isn't going to win because he's sucks. I guess you could do a thing with Damian and Gunther going into Bash in Berlin, but I figured you'd do Ilya for that because Gunther and Ilya have a very good rivalry. or they just beat the ever living shit out of each other, or you keep the belt on Damian until he just loses it. But like the problem is, up until that point where he loses it to either Punk, Drew, or Seth, he's just gonna lose or win matches where he's like, oh yeah, I guess Damian has to win this. His opponent is fucking Chad Gable or something. It's not. The content of itself isn't the fact that like, oh, they wasted Money in the Bank. It's just the fact that there is nobody else now for Damian to fight. Seth cannot challenge for the world title again because he lost, and Drew and Punk love each other too much. So we're just gonna wait for what, like, I don't even know. Wait, you clearly want this for Mania, so like, who wins like the Rumble? I guess Damian gets to just beat up people that probably shouldn't beat him in the first place, anyways. Before I move on to the rest of the pay per view, I just want to say, Damian Priest, there is a like 0% chance you ever see this. Thank you for being who you are. You are a good champion. You are just going to get overlooked, not because of like the company going against you or anything. Because respectfully, you're part of some big storylines and you're like big chapters in those storylines. It's just unfair what they're doing to you. I just know that I appreciate you. You are my El Campeon. As someone who gets confused for Puerto Rican all the time, thanks for representing actual Puerto Ricans. And with that being said, let's move on to the rest of the card because I don't have a lot to say about it as much as I had to say about this. Women's Money in the Bank was fucking phenomenal. This was the best thing on the show. 100% no doubt. Did it start off a little awkward with Zoe Starks just not being good? Yeah, but it got there. And eventually Zoe locked it in and the match was phenomenal. You had just 6 amazing women stars doing amazing women star stuff. Io, why you kick her head in like that? That was fire, though. God, I love Io Sky. God, I love everybody in this match. God, I kind of wish Chelsea Green had won. I understand why she didn't. Tiffany's going to be great. I can't wait. Tiffany was my overall pick. Chelsea Green would have been a lot of fun, though. But it is Tiffy time. 5 stars. I don't want to do stars, but 5 stars. I love this match. This is a lot of fun. Sammy eventually went to go fight Braun Breaker, and I don't think this was. I mean, it was a good match. It was Sammy and Braun, 2 really good guys. Should Braun Breaker have lost this? I don't think so. But the thing is, do they want him to win at SummerSlam, maybe? Because my thing is, Sammy should be in the World Heavyweight title picture, right? It shouldn't just be me that's saying this. Because, respectfully, he should. But also, I kind of get why he isn't right now, which is pretty fair because, like, the same thing with Jey Uso, except the opposite, where Sammy's actually winning matches and winning main events of things. It makes sense why you don't want Sammy up there right now. Kind of let the Punk Drew Seth stuff go out. God, I forgot his name. It's crazy. So, like, that I completely understand. I'm okay with that. But also, should you have pinned Braun right now? Or should you have done, like, a roll up or a count? Something that made Sammy look like he just barely beat Braun. Like, I watched the match, and I was like, okay, Braun's beating the ever living hell out of him. But then Sammy just kind of wins. And that kind of doesn't fit for me. But that's just me, I guess. I mean, it could be better. Maybe maybe I'll rewatch it. You know what? Maybe I'll rewatch. I'm not gonna rewatch it. I'm gonna stand on business. I don't think Braun should have lost here. I think they want Braun to win at SummerSlam, which again kind of like goes into what I was saying. Long-term storytelling is kind of breaking the B pay-per-views, meaning, well, we're not gonna get anything good, but we'll get something okay-ish for now. What else happened on this card? What else happened on this card? Money in the Bank, Money in the Bank, Sammy. Who the fuck else was on this card? Both Money in the Banks. I see Todd. Oh, that's why. Because I was talking about Damian Priest in that. Okay, I got it. Because it was. Because I'm like, there's 5 matches. I forgot. I kind of loved Money in the Bank with the world title match. That's fair. That's on me. Last match on this card was a 6-man tag between the Bloodline 2.0 and Cody, Randy, and also Kevin Owens. It ended the way I thought it was supposed to, because Cody definitely should have got pinned by Solo, because we're going to get Solo Cody at SummerSlam anyways. Might as well give him the, I pinned you once, I'll pin you again, because how the hell else are you going to get Roman Reigns in here? Listen, I just made a video about Solo. Go watch it. The mic quality is kind of cheeks, praying that this one also doesn't have bad mic quality. Pray for me. But yeah, I think this is going to be a fun Money in the Bank match. Or not Money in the I think it's gonna be a fun I think it's gonna be a fun SummerSlam match. Cody Solo with a Roman return. Is it because I'm gonna be there? Probably. I love it, bro. I can't wait to go to SummerSlam. I guess that's what we do with SummerSlam. But also, this match was a mess. There's a lot of stuff. One of the Tonga twins misses a low blow on Kevin Owens, who's standing still. Bloodline 2.0 is crazy. Go watch my video. I explained it. Like, they're just there. But yeah, that's kind of it. I feel like I kind of just wanted to make the point of Money in the Bank doesn't feel as wasted as I felt like it was last night when I originally thought of making this video. I was like, well, Money in the Bank was kind of ass. They wasted it, and the matches weren't that great. But then after kind of sitting on it, going through, rewatching, combing through it, kind of seeing the reactions online and kind of calling a lot of people stupid, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I just didn't like it that much. And I think that's because the B pay-per-views, again, they're not going to get the big storytelling beats. And I think that's the biggest problem. I understand not wanting to do a big title change at like Bad Blood, which is coming up, but it would make Bad Blood feel more important and doesn't have to derail your story if you don't let it, if you just give little moments like this to non-big four pay-per-views. Hell, one of the big fours is so useless that you do a non-canon episode for a night with War Games or Brand Warfare. So like you basically only get 3 real title opportunities to change or whatever. I know we recently got the tag titles back on real tag teams recently, not on pay-per-view, and that's cool. But WWE doesn't care about these belts, so it doesn't really matter. So I want to see an IC title change, a US title change, a WWE title change on a SmackDown. I know a lot of people will be like, well, that's a waste, especially for like Cody, because Cody's supposed to be the guy. The problem is, I don't want another Roman run again. I want interesting stories told. And that was my biggest problem with Seth Rollins' first year with the World Heavyweight title. There were no real stories told. Seth was supposed to be this battling baby face, but every time he fought a challenger, there was no real challenge because they were like, oh, Seth's gonna win. There was never a wrinkle in the story. There was never a moment where Seth's back was so bad that Shinsuke actually broke him and even held it just for like a week, where I thought Shinsuke should have held it from pay-per-view to pay-per-view, where Seth comes back, revokes his rematch clause, and then beats Shinsuke. It would have made the storylines a little more simpler. So I understand why they don't do title changes every single pay-per-view, but after a while we just go, oh, we're waiting for Mania. And considering we've got to wait till next year's Mania, I would like to see some title changes. I don't know. I'm going on a rant now. Money in the Bank 2024 kind of sucked. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever watched, because if you made this card back in 2006, not only would they have added like 5 more matches onto this, it would have been significantly worse. Worse, worse, worse. Bad in ring, bad storytelling, bad everything. So I guess if I'm gonna pay $10 a month for a streaming service and have the choice to watch the whole WWE like discography and also just other stuff, at least I didn't pay $60 to watch 12 bad matches. And I think I'm also just being really harsh on WWE pay-per-views because, honest to God, I haven't really enjoyed one since Mania, but I have enjoyed every AEW pay-per-view since last year when I came back to watching wrestling. AEW's pay-per-view game, I don't care what you feel about AEW, their pay-per-views are the best thing in wrestling right now. I would argue way better than anything going on TV. The pay-per-views are just wrong. They'll have 12 matches, 6 of them being useless, but 6 of them being 5-star bangers. So it's like, I gotta stop watching WWE pay-per-views and thinking I'm getting that. Or I gotta stop watching AEW pay-per-views. That's not happening. I don't know how to end this. So instead of rambling and ranting about comparisons on the two companies that I love dearly, I'm just going to end the video. How do you guys feel about Money in the Bank 2024? Again, could have been better, but also could have been way worse. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed thinking about it, because believe me, I needed to get these thoughts out of my head and into a video, because that was the point of this channel in the first place. Guys, like I said, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see ya when I freaking see ya. Who does Tiffany cash in on and when? Is it Nia Jax or is it Bayley at SummerSlam? Because it could be that or it could be next year. I don't know.